So this presentation is 2020 proved the importance of branding. My name is Edward White. I am the founder of a creative and branding agency called @Live. Started the agency 2 years ago, so 2018. Worked with a range of different clients from lifestyle to B2B brands. And I think branding, as I'll show you, is so important in the different aspects of it. So whatever business you're in, there's always a place for branding. I wanted to show you this video, which is someone made in response to all of the coronavirus adverts that have been made sort of March, April time. So I'm going to skip through. It's very long, but yeah, have a little watch.
First opened our doors.
Since 1926?
Since 1978. For 60 years.
For 75 years.
For over 80 years.
In 90 years.
Over 100 moments in our history.
Time of social distancing,
While things have slowed down. As we turn more inside.
while the doors may be closed.
While the distance between us has gotten bigger.
The more we stay apart, we still find ways to stay close. Even when we're apart. Even if we can't stand closer than 6 feet.
We can all stay connected to work, school, and most importantly, to each other.
They're still,
This is here for you.
we're still here for you.
We're with you. We're part of your community.
So you can trust us.
You can count on us.
And we'll get through this. Together.
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 Together. Together.
Together. Together.
Together.
Together. Together.
Together.
Together.
So I'm pretty sure you can all guess where like it's going to go and how every sort of advert that you saw there, they're all from big brands, and they obviously must have had an advertising plan and a marketing plan to do adverts, and then they had to quickly change. And it feels like a lot of brands went down that route of the generic kind of, this is our advert, we're here for you, we've always been here for you, nothing's really changing. And it's almost like, here's the advertising guidelines, and then everyone just fills it. So I wanted to pick out brands that I feel have done differently, and especially this year, because obviously everyone knows what's going on. And it felt like a year that you couldn't do that genericness. Like it needed to be individual and it needed to be different. So yeah. So what is a brand? If you look at Google, a brand is a type of product manufactured by a particular company under a particular name. I don't like this definition. I like the one: a brand is the way a company, organization, or individual is perceived by those who experience it. More than a simple name, term, design, or symbol, a brand is the recognizable feeling a product or business evokes. So I think I've emphasized feeling because that is, for me, what branding is all about. It's what do your customers feel? And it's so subjective, because what one customer might feel about your brand, another customer might feel completely different. They could both be your customers, but they both feel a different way. And hopefully I will try and cover this in this presentation. So yeah, brand is a feeling. If you think of any brands, like just watching this, think of any brands that you like and you connect to. Who are those people? Who are the companies that you like? And it doesn't necessarily have to be the big companies or the most well-known ones. It can be the little ones who I find are the ones that put customer care and their messaging across more effectively than, say, the big companies do, because they've got more on their shoulders. Okay, so if you think of branding is the reason that why people I don't get this, but the people queue up to go to Supreme, or the reason that people get a Harley Davidson tattoo instead of a Suzuki tattoo. It's so hard to describe. Like, why would someone get a tattoo of a brand? Yeah, why would someone get a tattoo of the brand? But then I think that is the value of branding. It's almost cult-like in the sense that you build a following and you build a community around your business. So let's go on to brands I feel like I won in 2020. Brewdog. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this company. If you haven't, you've probably been living under a rock. They are a company based in Scotland, and they've been killing it this year in the sense that they create a new beer. They've done an unintentional supermarket collaboration, which happened through Twitter and through the sort of brand voice and the way that they pushed it. Unintentionally created a beer with Aldi, which, I'll go into. A sustainability project, which I think has been on the cards, and they've still upheld this and sort of linked it in with the other stuff that they've done unintentionally as part of like their business branding message. And then they've also created a hand sanitizer, which, because of, if you remember, I think in about April or May time, the lack of hand sanitizer around the world was quite detrimental to obviously the healthcare service. And the brand stepped in and said, we can make alcoholic hand sanitizer. So that's what they did. And it was a great marketing effort. But then I think it rolls back onto the brands that they sort of adhere to and the voice that they push. So this is Aud IPA, which is the result. It's the product of a result of a Twitter spat, the owner of Brewdog put a tweet out to Aldi saying that they copied. So if you see the establishment IPA is the one that Aldi made, and in response to that, Brewdog put out tweets with a mock-up of the. They didn't originally call it Aud IPA. They called it something else. I can't specifically remember what, but they made with that sort of design a Brewdog Aldi IPA. And Aldi came back and said, we would have called it Aud IPA. And then I think about 3 weeks later, they had a product made. They're selling it on the website. And then how it links back to their sustainability project is that every 4 cans that are sold, Aldi will plant a tree in the Brewdog forest. The hygienic hand rub, which was very much needed in 2020. They're very reactive in the sense that they created this product out of nothing. It wasn't on their to-do list. It wasn't on their growth plans list to make a hand sanitizing project. They reacted. They saw a sort of need for it. So that's why they did it. It's in line with how they sort of go against the grain and they just do what they want to. So obviously, that's for the benefit of people around the country who needed the hand sanitizer. And apparently, they actually ran out of the bottles, the plastic bottles there. So they ended up putting it in beer bottles, which they had to like really clearly label "Do not drink." So Gymshark. Gymshark is another one. This year, Gymshark got valued at over £1 billion due to an investment. And it's just if you've been watching it over the recent sort of year or year and a half, they've really, really pushed it and really, really killed it in terms of building the brand. This year specifically, they did live workouts from home. So this is actually where, again, they got people who were in trouble and in need of help. So PTs who couldn't go and do the workouts and stuff at their gym. They encouraged them and said that they would pay for them to do a workout on the Gymshark Facebook page, do it live, and they would get money for it. So again, it's going back to that community. How can you get your community involved? How can you help your community? And then ultimately it leads to the customers, in my opinion, feeling better. And home workout clothing created. So this is another adaptability thing. They created workout clothes that were specific for home. I'm not too sure on the difference, and I'm not too sure if this is just a thing that they did, but I did look at the clothes, and the workout clothes looked a bit more relaxing in the sense that they weren't as tight and they weren't as nylon made. So yeah. And then they had the NHS Sweaty Selfie, which was a goal to get people to post with the NHS Sweaty Selfie, and they would donate £5 for every selfie that got shared, raising money for the NHS. And yeah, so this is a campaign, the NHS Sweaty Selfie, where it was just encouraging people to still stay motivated, still get sweaty and do a workout, which I think in this sort of messaging that you see from Gymshark, they really push this. They really push the health aspect of it. They really push the just staying fit, stay motivated, because obviously in 2020 people did get a little bit demotivated. They started watching TV more, they started eating more, drinking more and stuff like that. So I think this kind of messaging does help. So yeah, personal brand versus company brand. I'm going to show you a few examples now of a personal brand and a company brand, and how I think it's different, and how I think you can use both to sort of progress both the business element of it and your own personal element of it. So a company brand is on a company-wide basis. This is basically where I'm flying through this. This is basically where we look at brands like Gymshark, like Brewdog, how they post out content, how they post out different messaging. Maybe it's an email marketing campaign, maybe it's through their website, on a company basis, not necessarily always on an individual basis. Specifically around what the company is doing. Yeah, so if you look at like Gymshark, they don't put anything from Ben Francis on the Gymshark page. It's very much like, this is the company, and then Ben Francis is the owner, but they don't really discuss that, and they don't bring that into the sort of messaging. Content can be written, video, imagery, podcasts, all those sorts of different avenues for creating content. I think video for companies is working really well. You've seen a lot of companies on, especially places like LinkedIn, doing really good vlogs. So there was the Go Agency who did a daily vlog, which is doing really well for them. Social Chain, they do quite a lot. So these are on like a B2B sort of aspect. Like if you think, oh, my business is B2B, I can't do content. Look at those brands. So Social Chain, the Daily Go, and look at how they're creating content around the subject matter. So Social Chain makes a lot of content in terms of statistics. So they've got a lot of access to statistics that they use and make podcasts around it. They get people on the podcast, obviously not so much now with 2020. But yeah, if you're wondering like, oh, I'm a B2B brand and I don't necessarily know how to do it, then yeah, take a look at those brands. They make content around like business achievements and the work that they produce. So like obviously Brewdog, they make the hand sanitizer, or the Audi IPA that they created. Brand news. So what's going on within the company? Maybe they've raised investment, or they've created a new product. Team thoughts. I think this is a quite good one. So this is a way to sort of delve into what people at the company think. I think Missguided do this quite well if you check out their LinkedIn. So I've never bought anything from Missguided. It's a female clothing company. I'm not really into fashion, and I'm not really into female clothes. So, but I like what they're doing in terms of messaging. They're very like female focused. So on a B2B level, they create content around empowering women and pushing women forward. So yeah, I think that's a good thing to check out. Products and lifestyle content. So in terms of majority of the images that you see on social media, especially Instagram and Facebook, they will specifically show like product lifestyle, how the product fits into the customer's lifestyle. So this will all be planned out in the sense of, we want our customers to look like this, or we think our customers look like this. And then it does change. Like Gymshark created a bigger women's range, or a plus size model range for people who are plus size. They got a lot of stick from it from their original customers, but then they're saying that they feel that it's the right thing to do, that fitness should be encouraged, and they're still standing by their key messaging. Another way that I think is a good way to do it is through collaborations, and which I haven't mentioned here. So that is, maybe you could start. So it's a bit different if you're in a B2B space, but maybe you could start something that is with another company or with someone who's doing like a similar thing to you, but you could add the value. Or if you're a lifestyle brand, it's a lot easier to do collabs with, say, influencers or people who have like a big following within your community. Especially if you're a smaller business, you could look at seeing if there's maybe an artist or someone like that. Like, think of creative ways of how you could collaborate together with other people. Personal brands. So personal brands are something that have only recently come in the sense of, like, it's been done, but I think there's more emphasis on people actually creating content for their personal brand. I'm a complete advocate for personal brand. I think it's one of those things that will always stay with you. It's like a permanent CV, and it's like it's a CV that's like being drip fed into like your potential. So say @Live didn't work, touch wood, @Live didn't work. I have hopefully created a personal brand that shows that I'm hardworking, dedicated, I'm into branding, I understand technology, I understand creativity, and that sorts of elements. So hopefully by me putting out content and me making my personal brand, people have been able to see what I can do. So then if I do go and apply for a job, my CV doesn't have as much weight because they already know what I can do. That's my kind of thinking. Not specific to one business necessarily. So a lot of entrepreneurs, they have different businesses and they have different things that they're doing. Maybe they're into charitable causes and they enjoy something, doing a hobby or something, like maybe they enjoy doing wild water swimming. That is another way to connect with people on an individual level. So again, content can be written, video, imagery, podcast, all the different forms of content. Like I'm recording this video now. It will get put onto the Bath Digital Festival. I'm going to make it into micro content so that I can put out the content. It's just another way to show people what you're doing, and another way to show people what your business is doing and what you intend to do. I think that's a good thing. It's like that process. I think people really like that. They really like seeing the work that goes into building something and the sort of dedication that goes into it. So yeah, posting your thoughts and ideas, like what do you think around branding or podcasting or all these different elements? Like, how can you help an individual progress or a company progress? Maybe you know an idea or you have an insight that would be useful. I'd definitely say share that, and I'd say create content around that. Share brand news. It doesn't necessarily have to be your company news. Like, it could be someone in your industry doing something really good, or an old employer is doing something really good. Like, share that news and spread a little bit of positivity. Personal insights. What have you learned? What have you developed? Maybe you've learned a new routine. Maybe you've done something different in your life that you think will help other people. I think ultimately where I'm trying to go back to is like, how can you help other people, and how can you push out content that will help other people? So James Watt is the founder and CEO of BrewDog. He's not as, I was trying to find content. I found that he wasn't as heavy on it in terms of content and the production game. But he does create video content on LinkedIn, specifically around what the company's doing. If there's something that he doesn't think is right in terms of the industry or stuff like that, he will say that, and he will share that via LinkedIn or Instagram. He's predominantly on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. I couldn't find anything on YouTube or Facebook about him, but I think yeah, he's good in the sense that he just very open and very honest and shares his mind, which I think a lot more people do need to do. And ultimately, he tells the story of BrewDog, which is a good story in my opinion. So, Ben Francis is the founder and CEO of Gymshark. He he actually creates a vlog style video, and he said this, that if he could restart Gymshark again, he would vlog it all. And I think that's quite telling in the sense that, like, it's good. One, it's good for the marketing to look back on and use as a coming up sort of story. And two, it's good to put your insights. So if you have a look on, I'm not sure if you can see them on my computer, but he's got like my 5 top apps, how I built Gymshark into a $1 billion company, design and final product so they can make products in-house, and he did it himself, and ultimately it goes back to that story of Gymshark. Like the key messages that Gymshark put out are built on hard work and chicken, I think it was, because they love Nando's chicken, so they put that message out, and you can see that in their content. But then I think it gets emphasized and pushed further by sort of Ben Francis doing it, predominantly on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Got a lot of followers on YouTube and a lot of followers on Instagram and stuff. And I think ultimately, like, if he ever did give up Gymshark, he could then go and start another business or start something else or work with another company. He's got that brand that he's built up around himself for how he did build Gymshark. So I think that's, for me, like, do it for a selfish reason. If you're going to do personal branding, offer people value, but do it for a selfish reason. He tells the video of Gymshark. So he tells the story of Gymshark and pushes the key messages of what they're trying to do, what new things they've got planned. So they're trying to expand into America, which before COVID, they were doing loads of vlogs over there, looking at offices and things like that. And I think it gets people intrigued, and it gets, maybe there's someone who is an investor watching and thinks, I really want to invest in that, because they can see the passion and the energy that gets put into the company. He gives business advice and best practices. Some people are asking questions. I can't see the questions at the minute on the sharing screen. Right, I will look at the questions, I promise you, at the end. So yeah, thank you so much. If you have any questions, please write them down. I will try and go through them at the end. I think I'm going to fly through this. So yeah, maybe this can be quite a good Q&A session. Ask them. I just can't see them at the minute. So ways to build your brand. There are many, 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 many different ways to build your brand. It's so subjective in the sense that, like, you don't really know what branding is. Like, branding is a whole different package. It's a whole thing altogether. And it's hard to do, but so these are ways that I think about building my brand, my personal brand, or my client's brand. So having a cohesive design, like, you want people to be able to go to the website, go to social media, see you in store, read magazines, have your products, and be able to recognize that brand, your brand, through the cohesive design. This takes time. Something that I've been developing for AtLive, and I think only something that I've really got hold of after doing it for a long time. So yeah, branding's hard. Have a brand voice. Brand voice is again another hard element. The voice that you have for your brand, like, what do you stand for? What do you push? Like, so Gymshark, for example, like pushing plus size models, getting a lot of stick from gym goers saying that they shouldn't be encouraging people to be fat, but Gymshark saying no, people need motivation to work out, and they need sort of that encouragement almost. So yeah, how does your brand voice fit into your brand? Create engaging content. Like, are people going to watch your content? Are they going to consume what your business has to say? don't necessarily go for the sales pitch of this is what our company's doing, this is what we're doing, click here to buy the product, because people just switch off. Like, tell the story, tell what you're doing, show why you're excited about it. Like, if you're in business, ultimately you're excited about your brand, your company, the brand that you work for. Like, why are you excited, and why should other people be excited? Which goes on to tell the brand story quite nicely, is like, tell that authentic story. And then what matters to you as a brand, what because obviously there's brands that do jump on sort of movements and different things. Like, I think Sainsbury's have got some backlash for doing the Black History Month and jumping onto that in a way that didn't seem authentic. It felt like, and then again, a lot of companies do it with Gay Pride. Key example would be who's the example? Barclays. They sponsored Tom Daley and got a lot of backlash from like the gay community. And I think ultimately, like, you're not going to do your brand any favors. So if it's authentic and it's real, then do it. But if it's not, then don't try to fit into something that doesn't work. Yeah. So the cohesive design, like, what? Again, this is something that I've only just recently started working on for my brand, doing it in terms of the website, keeping it very minimal, the yellow and the grey writing, so that when people are on, so that's social media content down the bottom, that's the website, and then obviously you're watching the presentation, which is @Live branded. So if you now go onto the website, it won't feel too much different than what you've seen here for the last hour, 30 minutes. Yeah. Brand voice. So I found a Alexa because I couldn't find any other images that portrayed voice, which is quite hard. So, yeah, I've kind of explained this already. Like, what is your voice that you want to be known for? And this is quite hard to train if you've got like a fairly big company, because obviously, unless you're really strict on it or you're really good at hiring, you never really know what someone's going to say. But then I think it comes down to hiring people who adhere to your brand and they fit within the company culture. Content. So last year I did the Bath Digital Festival, and I talked about like personal branding content, which goes on to quite a lot of detail of how to make content. So if you want to watch that one, please do. I don't want to cover it all, but it covers all different elements like free content production, paid content production, and the different social media platforms. So yeah, if you want to watch that one, please do. But ultimately, like, there's no real way that you can go wrong with content. I think you just need to produce enough to be relevant. I think you need to keep it on message, keep it on brand. Whether that's you hire someone in to do it, you hire an agency to do it, or you find someone from within the company to do it for you. I do think it's a key important element of your marketing strategy, and I think it gets pushed a lot to the side from especially big companies. Well, not necessarily big, but like medium-sized enterprise companies. They tend to go, we don't have anyone to do that. We're just going to push it to the side, and Susan can do it, or someone young can do it because she knows social media. And I don't think that's the best way to go about it, personally. Don't stay in your lane. Don't necessarily always stay in your what your business does. Like, your business can do whatever you want it to do, and I think that's the good thing about especially newer businesses. Like, it feels like they can adapt and they can change more, and a lot of the older businesses are stuck in their way in the sense that they don't want to change. So I think especially like Brewdog and stuff, creating hand sanitizer instead of doing beer, it's a good way to market what you're doing for your community, and a good way to adapt, really. This is one of my client examples. They are a beauty salon, And then I really pushed like the idea that I think they could become a lifestyle brand. So we created loads of products around the brand. So home care products, skincare products and stuff. So candles, heat pads, water bottles, different things like that people can use at home and feel like Le Petit fits into their life. And that's what I really want to push today in this kind of presentation is like, how can you push your brand further in what you feel like would fit your brand? Like, don't just do it because, oh, we want to make a new product. Like, do it because it fits the brand. Do it because it feels authentic. Yeah, I've nearly finished. So one thing that I did find, and I haven't had time to put it into the presentation, is the brand compass. Like, so the purpose is in the middle, and that's always been in the middle. The vision is one end of the compass, the mission, the values, and the objective. So really, if you're gonna like take time to do branding, really think about this element. Think about the design. Think about the purpose of the brand and where you want it to stand, and then think about the personality and the brand voice. Like, so the initial, the design, the purpose, the reason you're doing it, and then the sort of ultimately what you put out into the world. So the personality and the brand voice. Is ultimately it's easier to get more deals with a well-known brand than it is to get a deal. Like, if you're new to business, you'll know this. It's harder to go, oh, let me do work for your company because we do video, when 2 years down the line, people know what you do, they've seen what you do, and it's a lot easier because you've built up that brand, you've built up that reputation ultimately, and that feeling people get from using your brand. So it's easier to sell more products with an effective brand. Ultimately, branding is to build awareness. And yeah, I hope you found this video. I think I'm doing a YouTube video. I hope you found this presentation useful. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the Q&A. And I would love to answer them for you. And yeah, I think that's it. So let's have a look at the questions. I'm planning to start up as a self-employed proofreader and copy editor, so the business will be me. How would you approach branding in terms of personal versus company? So I would do. I would really push both of them. I assume you're not answer live. How do I answer live? Okay. Yeah, I assume you're not you've not done it yet and you've not started up a company. I would definitely say start up a company, and I would say now is the time to, if it conflicts with your current business or what you're currently doing, I'd say probably avoid it because you might get a little bit of stick. But ultimately, if you don't care and this is what you're going to do, then I would say really push your personal brand content. Like, why are you a good proofreader? Why are you a good copy editor? Maybe find funny examples of no conflicts. Cool. Great. Yeah, do it. Find examples of why like maybe funny examples of brands that have done bad copywriting or bad editing and stuff like that, like, or brands that didn't proofread. Look at ways that you can do that for people. And I think there's loads of different ways that you could produce content around it. I would say initially start with producing personal content and say, this is what I'm going to do. This is my goal. I want to start a company. I want to start a proofreading company. And this is kind of my stage to doing it. And then I think down the line, maybe 2 or 3 months down the line, you could ultimately push that and then get people, because you built a following around your personal brand, to follow the company brand. I hope that helps. And I hope that, yeah, if you have any more questions, please let me know. Do you have any female examples? So I find it really hard to find female examples. I don't follow a lot of people on social media personally. You're welcome, Anna. I don't follow, a lot of people on social media personally. I know loads of cool creatives who are females. There's a woman called Sophia Carey who does amazing photography. She creates YouTube content on a lot smaller scale, but she doesn't have that the company page because she's just a freelancer, so it's just her personal brand. So I was trying to find examples of brands that brands, personal and company, that could have both of them. One good example that I did cover last year in the personal branding presentation was Ariana Huffington, who is the owner of the Huffington Post. She's a killer at content, and she's just she just dominates the like personal growth. So she's a really good example to check out, and yeah, a really good check her out. Does anyone else have any other questions? Please let me know in the thingy. I think I'm finished, but yeah, if you have any questions, I'll try and stay on for about 5 more minutes. I understand that this is cut short in terms of like meant to finish at 12. Please let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Enjoy your socially distanced Bath Digital Festival, and yeah, when creating a business as a freelance, would you use your name for the brand or a brand name? So do you want to create a company? Like, do you have the idea of registering a company and becoming a company as well? Yes. Okay. It depends ultimately what you want to do with the company. I think a lot of people shoot themselves in the foot because they build a company around their name and it becomes too much about them. So then it becomes harder for them to ultimately sell the brand, and you become so attached to it, so that when you do leave the company, or you give it up, or sell it, or any other reason, like, your name's still attached to it. So I would say go for a company name and then build your personal brand at the same time. That would be sort of my personal preference, really. I hope that helps. Let me know if you need any clarification on that, please. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. What's the business also? Digital marketing. Yeah. So ultimately, do you want to become an agency? Do you want to grow into a team? And I think that's where a lot of people, like, they think they want to become a company, but then ultimately they just want to keep it themselves. So then I'd say push the freelance personal brand side of it. But if you want to become an agency and you want to have a team of different people, then I would say push the company brand and the personal brand, which has shown what you're doing, and then the company brand shows ultimately the results and stuff. Yeah. And if anyone else has any questions, please let me know. I appreciate it. And anyone has any good examples of branding that they would recommend, then yeah, definitely please let me know. Yeah, I think I'm going to end it here. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great day. Create a personal brand, create a company brand, and yeah, goodbye. Oh, thanks. Oh, thank you, Nigel. Any good references to recommend to read up further? Okay, I'm just getting loads of questions now. Any good recommendations? Recommendations in terms of what? Sorry, Fiona. Please. Dismiss. dismiss. How to work through the branding process. I've not really read any books on it. There's a few books that I want to read. One called The Branding Gap, which is on my reading list. I can't recommend it because I've not read it. So if you want to drop me an email, I'll show all the ones that are on my reading list. They might be good, they might be not. I can't really recommend. But I've not really read any books on branding necessarily. I'd say a really good book to make you stand. The two really good books are who's the good book? Seth Godin, Purple Cow, and Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Fantastic books on just what you do as a company and how you can be different. And then I think by reading those books, you'll get your own ideas and think, oh, I can do this. So I think that would be a good thing to look at. I hope that helps. You're welcome. If anyone else has any questions, please let me know and I will answer them. If not, I'm going to go. And I thank you so much for watching. Or if you want to drop me an email, edward@live.uk, feel free. And yeah, thank you very much. Bye-bye.